Hello, I'm Karen Taradas with Social U, and today we are going to talk about getting LinkedIn to grow your brand, sales, and influence. So let's just go ahead and jump in, get started. Oh, oops. Let's start over. Oh, hi there, I'm Karen Taradas with Social U, and today I'm going to be talking to you about getting LinkedIn and how to use LinkedIn to grow your brand, sales, and influence. So let's go ahead and get started. I always like to start with why. Why do we do things? What's in it for you? Why is it important to try it? First things, LinkedIn is one of the largest professional networks. It has over 500 million members. There's two new members every second. 40% of LinkedIn folks check in daily, and there's 160 unique. Oh, excuse me. There's 160 unique users every month. So that's why you want to be on LinkedIn. It's important to interact with other professionals. There are 10 million active job listings on LinkedIn, and tons of recruiters are using it all the time. So it's not just for salespeople; it's for everybody. Um, right now, more small businesses than ever are using them to using LinkedIn to recruit and to grow their business. It used to be reserved for the larger companies, for the top companies, and now anybody can get in there and get their stuff done on LinkedIn. So now that you kind of know a little bit more about why you want to do what you're going to do, this is what we're going to cover today. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to show you how everything's laid out. I'm going to show you how to navigate your profile. We're going to talk about everything on this list. I don't want to read it to you, but we'll go back at the end of the presentation and I'll make sure that I covered it all. And of course, I want your questions. If you have questions, if there's something you want to know, just send me a note during this presentation and I'll be happy to take care of that for you. Okay, let's start with navigating. If you just log in, this is what your homepage looks like. It's kind of new. They've updated things in the last year, so this is the new version of the homepage. It's a lot like Facebook. You have your news feed here, and it shows your articles that pop up. You've got ads and that kind of stuff over here. Not too exciting. And then over here is a snapshot of your personal profile and your information in case I guess you forget who you are while you're online. Okay, that little profile snap. Let me back up. Oh, seriously, let's not have. There we go. I just wanted to back up just a smidge. And hold on one sec. While we're in here, I want to make sure I can see my control panel in case anybody has questions. Um, Okie doke. And let me make that big again. Hang on, bear with me just 1 second. Or 2 seconds. And also, if you have questions, I monitor my text during these presentations, so I can answer your questions even if you can't reach me by chat. So, okay, let's get back to it. This is a new profile snap, and what basically is a summation. It gives your headline right here, your name. It shows your picture, and it tells how many people you're connected to, and that's great. But you also want to, and we're going to talk about your headline here in just a second. So you want to make sure that you really use this to your advantage. So let's jump in and talk about your profile. Um, you have to complete your profile. So many folks on LinkedIn, their stuff's just not finished, and it looks kind of lazy or careless. So you don't want to come across as lazy or careless. So make sure all your information is recorded properly and filled out properly. And if you're going in for an interview or a presentation, or you're talking to someone, you're selling your product, update your LinkedIn profile so they'll know that you're serious about what you're doing. It helps assess your credibility. And during our presentation today, you're going to see these little information bubbles up here, and they are quotes or stats from reputable sources. Everything has a source on it so that you know I'm not just making this stuff up. It's actually true. It's nice to learn stuff that's true. Okay, so this has a lot of information on it. So let me kind of go through it one thing at a time. Okay, first and most important is You now have the capability to have custom cover art. That is the big deal. You need to tell people who you are in your cover art so that if they don't even bother to read the information, they kind of get an idea about who you are and what you do. This up here, this is the pixels, this is the dimension of the cover art that you need, and those are the newest versions of pixels. They're up there. So once you have your cover art established, the next thing is your professional headshot. And I mean professional headshot. I don't mean a picture of your cat. I don't mean a picture that you had done 14 years ago or your senior picture or glamour shots from 1987. I mean an up-to-date professional headshot so that if we met for coffee, you'd know who I am by looking at my face because I look like my picture on LinkedIn. It's very, it comes across as deceptive if you have a picture that's not current. Right under there, you have your name, and then you have your headline. Now, a lot of people waste their headline. I can put I'm the owner of my company. I can tell you I'm the president and CEO and chief genius in charge, and who cares? It doesn't matter. It's all about what you bring to the table for the person that's going to hire you. So, what can I do for the people that are looking to hire me? I can help you grow your business and sales and influence your social media. That is who I am. So everywhere you look and you see me on LinkedIn, or if you Google me and my LinkedIn profile comes up, you see my picture, the name of my business, and this tagline right here. It's just the best thing to do is to tell what you can do right in the first sentence. One of the best taglines I ever saw was by an administrative assistant who was looking for a job, and she included the headline "Gal Friday for Smart CEO who needs help getting things done." Just genius. This is great tagline. So headline matters. It's the most, if aside from your picture, it's the most important piece of real estate on your profile. You're unique, and you need to create a unique headline. It's very important. It doesn't need to default to your job title. We just talked about that a little bit. It's nobody cares if you're the president of your one person company. It's not a big deal to them. So what does it mean? And take a look right here. Profiles with pictures are 14 times more likely to be viewed. So what does it mean to have a picture? It means that people are going to take you more seriously. You do get spammers sometimes on LinkedIn, and those are the people who don't have profile shots. And you know it. On Facebook, if you get a request, the first thing I do is go look to see if they're real people. How can you tell? You look at their profile picture. You look a little bit at their news feed or profile to see if they're real. So you want to be taken seriously. Make sure you have a current picture right there. Okay. We cover everything? Okay, and if you have any questions, just let me know. All right, next we are going to get a little bit more into our profile and how to edit your settings and that kind of stuff. So let's talk right here about customizing your URL. I am super lucky. I'm the only Karen Teratis in the world, so nobody is going to look me up and think they have the wrong person. It's not going to happen. But if you're the only Brian Jones, or if you're the only Susan Smith, probably not. So you want to customize your URL so that it's unique to you, so that when people are looking, they can make sure they have the right person. So how do you do that? Well, you can do it based on location. You could be Susan Smith, Birmingham, Alabama. You could be Susan Smith, real estate. You could be Susan Smith, project manager. Any identifying mark that helps people understand who you are and what you do, you can build that right here, right into your URL. That's very cool. So if you want to edit content, what happens if you want to do some little content editing, like you need to update your address or you want to make sure your information is correct? You click right here, and it's a little bit confusing because it takes you right back to your profile page. Okay, confusing. You click on this little, I guess it's supposed to be a pencil, right here on the top of your profile and your information right there. It takes you to your edit page where you can literally edit anything. You can edit your name, your headline, your current position, your education information. Most importantly, you can edit your contact information. Please make sure your contact information is current and up to date. And something you can do is personalize your URLs. You can add Facebook, and that's great, and it can say other, or you can tell it how you want it to be seen. So instead of seeing 4 or 5 different URLs in a row that say other, it can say Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, website. I use the name of my company to represent my website. Of course I am. It's searchable terminology. That just makes the most sense. And then After you have all your information edited and you're happy with it, you click apply, it saves, and you're good to go. Okay, as you go down your profile page, after you see the picture and the information on the top, the first thing that shows up, the first profile section that shows up is your summary. And if people don't expand it to where they can see more, they're only going to see the first 2 lines. So it's important that this very top section matters. Again, it's just like your headline. You have to make this work for you. And I like having visually diverse layout. I want it to be in pieces or bullet points or formatted where, LinkedIn doesn't support a ton of formatting, so sometimes beggars can't be choosers. So I separated mine by paragraph, and that's what works for me. If you just scan, all you're going to see is consulting, training, managing, and that's who I am. That's exactly what I do. Excuse me. Okay. When you're writing your summary, a couple of things to remember: keep it short. That is really hard for a lot of folks. They forget that it's they're not. You don't need to tell your life story. You just need to get enough information so that your end user understands what you do in a good way. Excuse me. You want to quantify it with percentages and numbers if you can. If you're a salesperson and you grew the bottom line of your last company 200%, tell it in your summary, because that really speaks to the people who are going to hire you. Use very specific keywords. Now, you don't want to do a whole jargon thing where nobody who isn't in your industry will understand it or Google won't recognize it. But you do need to use words. If you're looking for a job, you need to use hiring words. If you're looking for folks to sell homes to, you need to use trigger words like looking to move, interested, home buyers, home sellers, real estate professional, terms that are searchable, because when you get into the advanced search option on LinkedIn, it picks up all of that. And so if someone's looking for you and they're looking for a real estate professional, and in case it's not in your headline, but it probably should be, then they will definitely pick it up if it's in your summary. And of course, you also want it to be visually appealing. You have the option to add different pieces of media, and of course your cover art. So you want it to be attractive too. Okay. In your summary, and I touched on this just a second ago, avoid buzzwords: creative, out of the box thinker, um, emphasize verbs. We manage, we train, we consult. Verbs. Talk about what you do. And you can help prospects and potential partners find you. Make sure you use your keywords. We just talked about this a second ago. It's important because they're so searchable, not only by LinkedIn, but by Google as well. Okay, media that you can add to your summary. If you're looking for a job, format an attractive resume. Please don't put another resume on there, and put it up there. If you've written an article, if you have been quoted in the um, business journal and you want to share that with folks, if you've done a cool presentation and you want to share that, video totally works. Nobody sells you as well as you do, so video is a great tool to have. In my profile, in my summary, you're going to see video. I have one that talks about what we do, and I have one that talks about why you need what we do. And they're not long; they're short, just a couple of minutes on both of those. But no, who can sell you better than you? And it doesn't have to be professional 6 camera video. It could be you and your iPhone and a tripod, and you tell them why you're the best choice. If you're a real estate agent, why, if they're looking in Helena, why you're the best one to go to. If you're sales, why they need to hire you for their medical equipment company, how much experience you bring to the table. Video is an awesome tool. This is a sample of the video that I have. Hey, I'm Karen Terradas of Social Media, and I want to let you know a little bit about the services my company has to offer. But we're not going to watch it. Sample of why you need. I'm Karen Terradas of Social Media, and I want to talk to you a little bit about why social media is important for your business, especially. But that's my message, and that's what helps me connect with new clients and prospects. So video is a good tool. Now, the next section coming down from your profile are recommendations. And you want to ask to be recommended. This is an important piece right here. You want 1 for every 100 connections or 2 for every major job. But don't go crazy. You don't need 100. That just looks like you're showing off. So keep it simple. 10 is probably good. If you have been doing business for 30 years and you want to have 20 of them, that's great, but you don't need 100 of them. And just a note, people are not super responsive. So if you want one recommendation, you need to ask 5 to 10 people. Because even if I love you in real life, I may not take the time to write a recommendation for you online. It's just, I don't know why folks have a hang up about that, but a lot of times it just doesn't get done. So if you want a couple, you need to ask many. And they could be, some of them can be personal. If you're brand new to your industry and you're a brand new agent and you've never sold a house before, let people know that you're a reasonable, reliable adult. I mean, that's totally okay. And then the more the experience you have, the more you're going to have recommendations based on who you are right now. And once you get them on LinkedIn, that's public. You can use those things anywhere. And of course, I have them on my testimonial page. I have not only the recommendations, I have the snapshot of the person who said them because it lends credibility. So you know that they're not my mom, sister, cousin. You want to create an entry for every role you performed within each job title. So if you're working in a bank and you've been a teller and a manager and a floor manager and an assistant manager, it's perfectly okay to create an entry for every role, especially if you've been with a company for multiple years and you want to represent everything that you've done. Okay, the next section down on your profile, on your personal profile, is the skills and endorsement section. And I never cease to be amazed by the skills and endorsements that people refer me for. It always surprises me because I think I didn't realize I was an expert in that. But thank you very much for your recommendations. It's very powerful when you're recommended by other people in your industry who know what you do and they know you do a good job at it. I think that's powerful. When you have other public speakers that say you're a good speaker, that's powerful. If you have other real estate agents that say you're a good real estate agent, that's powerful. And endorse other people. You need to be friendly. It's if you believe that they're good at what they do, give them an endorsement. It's courteous. Okay, woo, lots of information. The next section down are your connections. Okay, so what is a connection? It's just like friends on Facebook. It's people you're connected to on LinkedIn. And there are LinkedIn purists who believe you should only connect with people that you know in real life. Okay, kind of. You need to be selective about who you connect with. But if you don't know the HR director for the manufacturing company that you have an interview with, get to know them online and you want to connect with them. I think it's perfectly okay to connect with people you haven't met, but you want to do business with or you want to connect with in the future. So, some notes for you guys. You can skip the whole how do you do part of the connection if you search from their, instead of searching from their um, profiles, you connect to them in groups. And I'm going to talk about groups a little bit. And when introducing yourself, it is so not about you. It always needs to be about them. Hey, I love your company, love to meet you and connect with you, all about them. And you don't want to send that automated, I'd like to add you to my professional LinkedIn. That's the default that LinkedIn provides. And people know it's the default. And you don't have to be a creative writer. Just, hi, I saw you at the chamber meeting and I'd love to connect with you online. It doesn't have to be hard, it just needs to be personal. And something so cool, in case you don't know, for my technical folks out there, Evernote and LinkedIn integrate. So cool, so that you can organize your business cards and their LinkedIn info and put it all in one place. And if you don't have Evernote scannable, even cooler, when you go to networking functions, it allows you to take a picture of a business card and it scans it into your contact information. So you don't have to look at it and type all that stuff in, and you might get a number backwards. I do that all the time. It scans it for you, which is so cool. Okay, I'll try to calm down. I love that stuff. Okay, you can connect to people professionally for free, or if you want to upgrade your account and pay for a membership to LinkedIn, you can. They have a free trial so that you can give it a shot and see if you like it. What's the benefit to paying? The benefit to paying is it allows you to send email to people you're not connected to. So, how do you see your connections? How do you know what's happening with your connections? Across the navigation bar across the top, my network, and it pulls up everybody. It tells you if you have any pending invitations. It tells you how many connections you have. You can see them all if you click right there. You can see contacts that you know in real life that you want to connect with on LinkedIn. If you have any pending invitations, there will also be a little red dot up here on your network. And just like Facebook, they're going to make recommendations. Hey, you might know this guy, Norm. He has a lot of the same interests as you, or he's worked at some of the same places as you. I actually do know Becca, so she'd be a good connection for me. But there's no picture right here, which she'll kill me for calling her out. So I want to make sure it's her because sometimes you do get spammy stuff on LinkedIn. So I'd want to make sure this is her before we connect. Okay, once you get into your connections, there is this neat feature that LinkedIn offers over here in the top right corner where you can manage and sync your imported contacts. What does that mean? Um, it means you can download all of your emails out of your LinkedIn connections and send them an email in real life. So powerful. Now, there's a couple of drawbacks. You cannot spam people no matter what. So if you're going to download and send an email, you better bring some value and you better ask for their permission. Hey, we're connected on LinkedIn. I would love to offer this article. I would love to offer this information. If you're interested, that's great. If not, you can opt out of my email newsletter. Be careful. Don't spam people. It gets you in big trouble. But this is such a neat tool. And then once you click it, you come down here and click on Export Contacts, and it allows you to export in a CSV. I really want to say CVS, but it's not a drugstore. So CSV. Okay. Posting on LinkedIn, just like posting on Facebook, super simple. You post up here at the top. You can post anything you want to. It's critical, and I can't say this enough. It needs to be information that creates you as an expert and establishes you as an expert in your industry. If you are a personal trainer and you want to do fitness quotes, that's great. For me to do a fitness quote would be weird because that's not what I do. You need to stay within your brand. LinkedIn users who update their profiles regularly get more job offers than people who contact the recruiters directly. That is a powerful message. You can transform a generic link into a call to action, especially on your profile, and I'm going to show you how to make a post. So let's say I want to post this article in my feed. You copy the URL just like Facebook and you post it here, and it's going to autofill with an image. Awesome. This is ugly and non-searchable. So the next step of this process is to get rid, of that URL, and I'll show you how to do that. It also, let me back up just a little bit. Once you have your URL, you come down here to the bottom to post settings, and when you click on post settings, it gives you these options. Who do you want to see it? The public, just Twitter, your connections. I always go public because I want everybody to see it. If I'm establishing my expertise on LinkedIn, why can't everybody see it? I think everybody should. So you pick who you want to see it. Once that's done, you go back and you change that URL to words that are searchable. And this is just an example of the newsfeed. This is information that's actually better than my information, but nobody's going to see it because it's surrounded by this giant picture of this dead bird. So make sure, even if you're going to do a simple quote or a piece of information or an opinion, and you can quote yourself, it can come across a little strange depending, but if you do it well, it can really work, especially if you're a professional speaker or you train and you have tips to share, you can do it as a tip and quote yourself, that works. But if you have great information, you need to decorate it with a graphic or people aren't going to see it. Okay, status updates. These are some notes to remember. Get it done in 600 characters. You're not writing a book. Get it done. Always bring value. It should always be interesting, educational, attention getting, or entertaining. A little less entertaining on LinkedIn. It's just not a funny platform. If you're going to be funny on Instagram. Or in my case, I just can't fight it. I'm funny all the time. Sorry. Okay, posts or blogs that you've written, great piece of information to share. Again, you share your URL and it will auto-populate with an image. Posts or blogs that feature you. If somebody does a feature on you or an article or you're featured in the business journal, put that in there. Or if you're quoted, use that too. These are great status update ideas. Okay, share high quality information so you can create connections that become alliances. So important. I just If you wouldn't say it in real life to your grandmother or an HR director who's interviewing you, do not say it online. Nothing goes away. Nothing, even Snapchat, folks, does not go away if you're involved in an FBI investigation. They can pull that stuff up. But it doesn't take an FBI analyst to pull up a lot of this stuff. It's easily accessible. You want to keep the politics to a zero on LinkedIn. Now, if you are a conservative Christian professional speaker and that's your brand, embrace it. But if you're a real estate agent, you need to let that go. So it's important that you stay true to your brand, but don't say anything that you wouldn't be embarrassed to say in real life to your friends, family, or employer. And if you want somebody else to see your status updates, just like Facebook, this is so cool. If you're, let's say you're going to meet somebody and you're trying to get them to work with you, you find a cool article about their company, you put the at symbol and you type their name, and it's just like tagging them on Facebook. They're going to see it. That is super powerful to walk into a meeting and have them say, "Hey, I saw that article you sent me. That's great stuff." Plus, the whole world can see it because it's public. It's a status update, so other people will see you bringing value elsewhere. It's a great way to spread the love and do things for other people. Okay, there's a new. Oh, hold on one second. Let me back up. I want to make sure I haven't missed any information. No, I'm good. Okay. Um, the next section down on your profile is the your background section. It talks about your work expertise, your education, your volunteer experience. There's also an area for skills and accomplishments. If you're certified in something specific, or you have a special um, skill, I was going to say certification again. This is where you list that information right here. Now, volunteer experience is huge. Volunteer experience carries so much weight that 42% of hiring managers value it as much as a formal job. Yep, that's right. So if you helped with the Susan G. Komen marathon last year and you managed that project, that carries as much weight as your job duties do with a hiring manager. So make sure you include your volunteer experience. If you're on the board for Camp Smile a Mile, if you're on the board for the Shelby County Humane Society, if you volunteer at the food bank, I think that's great to share because what happens is you see other people, especially I'm just going to use this as an example, but especially animal people are very connected. I have a friend who fosters puppies, and if she sees someone else who is into the Humane Society or animal rescue, that's a big deal for her. That's a bond, so she'll already feel connected to them before she meets them, and that's a great way to connect with people who share your who are like-minded, who share your interests. Okay. So you need to schedule a time to be on LinkedIn. You've heard people say it only works if you work it. Well, you have to treat it like you would anything else. Now, you don't have to do it all every single day. LinkedIn is a Monday through Friday thing. You can get away with about 3 times a week, and you can schedule the stuff on Hootsuite. You don't have to log in every day to do it. And if you're trying to be on the down low and look for a job, you don't have to let your boss know. You just turn off your network notifications so that he doesn't see that you're hunting for a job. Kind of sneaky, but totally legit on LinkedIn. Just make sure that you monitor. Just like anything else, you want to check your notifications and you want to be active. You want to post at least 3 times a week. 5 is awesome, but do what you can do. So the next way to be active on LinkedIn in the next section down on your profile are groups. How do you access groups? Well, across the top in your navigation bar, there's this little grid that says work, which again, I don't, these are the newest updates on LinkedIn, and I don't love this. Not that my 2 cents matters at all, but I think groups are important and they should be standalone, and they group them in here with the learning and posting a job and advertising, and I feel like they should be standalone. It's one of the best personal branding opportunities you have. If you work in Huntsville and your best clients come from the engineers who are relocating to work for some of the engineering companies, you had better be in an engineering group on LinkedIn because that's where your client base is. People, and you want to have some professional connections. Like if you are a real estate agent, you want to be in maybe the Home Builders Association or a real estate association, but don't get so bogged down with connecting to your colleagues that you forget to connect to your client. Go where your clients go. So when you pull up groups, this is just groups at a glance. It really, really adds value because it allows you to connect to other people who have similar interests and similar backgrounds. So don't be a wallflower. Your profile is 5 times more likely to be viewed if you're active in groups. Now, I'm not saying go crazy and give your opinion on every single discussion. I'm saying like a discussion, comment on a discussion, and you don't have to do it every day. It can be simple. It could be once a day you go in and you like one discussion or you comment on one discussion. Now, of course, the more activity breeds activity. And I'm a big believer in the rule of three. You want to connect with 3 people, comment on 3 things, like 3 things weekly. It will truly help you. And make sure if you're going to start a discussion, make sure it's visually appealing or nobody's going to look at it. Okay, you can then go to your own groups, my groups, and this is just the top few. You have the capability to be in 50 groups. If you're new, don't do that. 10, 5. Do what you can do and make it work. Don't go crazy and be in so many different groups that you can't maintain them all. This is what it looks like inside a group once you join. You can start your own conversation here. It allows you to add visuals. There are conversations featured down here. It talks to you about jobs that are available in this group. Very cool if you're job hunting, and who the other members are. So if I am really interested in Birmingham entrepreneurs, I might go and look at some of these profiles and see what groups they're in and then join some of those groups. Also a little bit sneaky, but it totally makes sense. You want to know where you need to spend your time. So what if you want to post something longer than a post? You want to post an article. Okay, you can do that. This is an overview of your profile, your newsfeed, excuse me, newsfeed. And when you're going to share information, a lot of times people think share an article means something somebody else wrote, but it can be something you write yourself. Now, this is a special feature. You have to qualify to have this particular button appear in your newsfeed. So if you don't have it, LinkedIn will tell you how to get it. But I've been on here long enough that I have it. So if I click on that write an article button, it takes me to this screen where it's basically a blog post embedded in LinkedIn, which is really kind of cool because it's super searchable. You don't have to have your own website. And especially if you're working for, like if you're a real estate agent, a lot of those folks don't have access to their website. It's hard for them to update. They don't have a lot of HTML knowledge, and that's totally okay. This is something you can do that's really simple. It works just like Word. You add your picture here, your headline here, you write right here. This is your editing tools up at the top. Simple. When you share original content, it's viewed 6 times more than any other job related activity. That's huge. And 20 this is the most important stat probably from this entire presentation. 20 posts per month will help your reach increase by 60%. What does that mean? It means, oh my gosh, I have to write 20 articles? No, that is not what that means. It means if you post anything 20 times a month, people will see you and you can establish your expertise. That can be as simple as a post on your profile once a day, Monday through Friday. That's 20 times a month. That's 5 times, 4 weeks, you're done. If you want to share more in-depth information, like the pitfalls of for sale by owner, this is a great place to do it, but you don't have to do this every day. If you are going to do something like this, make sure it's visually appealing so people will see it. And the most successful articles are ones that have ready-to-use information takeaways built in, baked in, baked in goodness. Okay, so coming back to our newsfeed. The best time to post on LinkedIn, based on LinkedIn, is Tuesdays and Thursdays between 7 and 9. That's true and it's not true. It depends on the area of the country. It depends on what you do and what you're trying to accomplish. Yes, it is important to do Monday through Friday, but your best time might be 9 a.m. instead of 7 a.m. And the best way to find that out is to post and see who responds to you when, and then you'll know what works best for you. But until you figure that out, Monday through Friday is a good bet. 9 o'clock is solid. 8 o'clock is solid. You want it because most people will get to work, and the first thing to do is check all their platforms. So you want to be on there in the morning when people are active and they're online. Okay, if you want to look for jobs, you go, this is the next little icon, and you search based on industry, location, or company size. I love LinkedIn. It's one of my favorite platforms, but they really want me to have a job. Apparently, being self employed doesn't qualify, and they send me updates all the time about sales jobs, which I don't truly deeply appreciate. If you are job hunting, you can pull up any job. I just randomly picked this one. It tells you who it's for. It gives you a description. It tells you how many people you might be connected to that work there already and how many people have applied. It's been seen 350 times. That's kind of a lot. And it tells you what industry it's in. If this is interesting to you, you can save it and then you can go back and look at it later. It does allow you to save jobs and save searches. You can save 2 searches and 10 jobs. And then you can go in and see all the past jobs you've applied for too, which is super handy. Okay, this is the new navigation bar, just in case I haven't covered this information yet. Home, network or your connections, jobs is the section we were just in. There is an instant message area for LinkedIn, and if you have a message, you access it here. It works just like Facebook. And then any notification that you have, there will be a little red dot. This is your personal profile. If you click, it allows you to edit. And then this is the grid for work that contains the learning section for LinkedIn if you want to learn more, or your groups, or your if you want to post a job. Okay, so those are the basics. Let's talk a little bit about tips and tricks. You can no longer rearrange the sections of your profile. This is one of the negative things that happened when they did the update. I don't love it, but I've had a couple of people ask me recently, how do I do that? Well, you can't do it anymore, so I just want to make sure everybody knew. You can no longer send InMail to someone you're not connected to unless you upgrade and you pay. Again, don't love that, but it is what it is. So once you are a professional, you can send InMail. And when I say professional, I mean the professional grade of LinkedIn. Then you can send InMail to people that you're not already connected to. How do you know if you're connected? It'll tell you right here. He's second degree, which means we're not connected directly. These are your different InMail features that allow, what it allows you to do. And of course, they're going to let you try it for free. You can see if you like it. I like free. I like doing all the social media stuff for free. I don't want to do where I have to pay for it. So mine is free. If I want to talk to you, I'll connect with you and then we can talk. And if you won't connect with me, you probably wouldn't read my InMail anyway. You can, of course, schedule one to go from one to the other. I don't ever feed from Twitter to LinkedIn. That's crazy. But you can feed from LinkedIn to Twitter. There is an app you use called If This Then That. It's IFTTT. I'm happy to share that with you. It will allow you to program it so that your tweets from or your information from LinkedIn go out as a tweet. Or if you're scheduling it on Hootsuite, just schedule it there. That's easy too. And there's no programming involved. But a lot of people, that scares them to death. This is a video about LinkedIn Lookup.
This is Vivica Von Rosen with LinkedIn's newest tool, LinkedIn Lookup. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is go to linkedin.com/.
And we're not going to go through all of that, but it's just a cool new feature that they have, and it's really helpful if you're job hunting. There's also a new application called LinkedIn Connected. I've tried it. I don't really see that it's more integrated. LinkedIn says it's better. Yeah, I don't love it. I like my plain old LinkedIn app the best. If you use this and you like it, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me why you like it and why it's better. I'd love to hear that information. Also, LinkedIn. Oh, I think that is so cool. That's one of the newest features on LinkedIn. It allows you not only to job hunt. It allows you to basically hang up a shingle that tells people you're job hunting and what you're looking for. I just think it's a really neat tool. If you want to really optimize your LinkedIn profile, this is a neat link that will tell you kind of how to dress it up and make it more visually appealing so that your information will stand out. And this is the information that we covered. We talked about making your headline count and how important it is because that's the best real estate. Of course, you want to follow your target companies, just like on Facebook business pages. If there's a company you want to work for, a company you're interested in, or a company where a lot of your clients come from, follow them. Connect to other people, at least 3 a week. It's a great way to broaden your network and it keeps you active. Also, if you want an introduction, you can ask one of your LinkedIn folks to introduce you to somebody you don't know, which is just the neatest thing ever. And it allows you, LinkedIn allows you to go in and see what other company VIPs are doing. Again, if there's a company you want to work with and you want to know about their HR director or their CEO, all their information is on LinkedIn. If there's something, I'm a firm believer, I said this years ago to my last boss, I never want to make a cold call again. And he took that to mean I didn't want to make sales calls. That's not what I meant at all. You should know somebody who knows the person you want to connect with. There is never a need to make a cold call again. Get the introduction. Find out who they know that you know and get them to connect you to guys. That's you should never walk in cold anymore because all their information is online and you should be able to connect with someone who knows them or an organization that they're affiliated with where you can go and meet them in person, like a chamber or like a board meeting or an association meeting or where they volunteer. It's just, there should never be cold anymore. Um, Dress it up, make sure it's visually appealing. If it's not visually appealing, people won't take the time to look at it. And make sure you get involved. You can't just set up your profile and never go back. It looks terrible for people to talk to you and respond to you and there's crickets. So monitor your LinkedIn activity. You don't have to get on there 10 times a day. Once every couple of days, once a week is great. Just make sure you schedule time to respond to the information so that people can get what they need. You spend all this time to get noticed and then you ignore the people when they talk to you. That's not a good idea. So I hope that this helped. I hope that you guys got all the information that you need. I'm Karen Taradas. I'm with Social U. I love your questions. I want to hear from you. If there's something you want to know about and I didn't address it today, if you'd like the recording of this, I'm happy to share it. Just let me know what I can do and how I can be helpful. And I will turn off the recording. But if you have questions, I'll hang around. So thank you again very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for spending time with me.